All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, Romero rips Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez for ducking David Benavidez. And he says that he knows David Benavidez is coming to fight. That's Canelo Alvarez. And that the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is not a big fight. It's just a funky way to snatch some more money off of Turkey Al-Sheikh. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's Romero week. Listen to several interviews of Romero. I do not usually take people's footage and put it in my video because I don't like when people do that to me. So just so you know, you can always find the video that I'm talking about. You can find it at Fight Hype. It was an interview that was done by Ben Thompson of Fight Hype, and I believe it was done maybe 2-3 days ago. And to date of today is 5/8/25. So you should be able to see that interview with Romero. It was very, very, very interesting. What a bright guy. What a smart guy. What an introspective guy. Just when he shows his real personality, he's been very, very serious lately, not doing any of the not a lot of the goofy stuff. You can really see how keen and how intelligent Romero is. And his analysis of Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez and what was going on there, I thought it was brilliant, honestly, and I really learned something from him. So just to start off the video right, you know that Romero just had the biggest win of the year of any fighter. I'm not going to say it was the best fight of the year, was fight of the year, or he's fighter of the year, or anything like that. I'm saying as far as any boxer goes this year, the biggest win of this year for any fighter has been Romero's win over Ryan Garcia. Because everybody counted Romero out, including myself, with the exception of, I know a couple people that did not do that. Kamal Oz and Phoenix the Assassin. But other than that, not a lot of people gave him a chance to win that fight. To see him dominate Ryan Garcia, beat up and dominate, knock him down, beat up and totally dominate, and I have to say outclass Ryan Garcia, was a shock nobody saw coming. But at the same time, when he got done and he gave this interview, if you look at the world through his eyes, I think you can see something and understand something I think is very, very real. Because he was asked about the Canelo Alvarez fight with Terence Crawford. He was also asked about other fights with Boots and the such, right? And he started talking about what big fights are. And he said that Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez, or Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, is not a big fight. And why? And he said, how? The question was asked, what is a big fight? How do you make a big fight? And Rolly said two things. And I'm telling you, man, the guy is really, really sharp. He says, you can make a really big fight when you have two people in the same weight class. The best two fighters in the same weight class will make a very, very big fight. The other way that you make a really big fight is that you have a really big star fighting another really big star. In this situation, you can bring to mind Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Manny Pacquiao. The big fights in the same weight class, you can look at all of the major heavyweight championship fights when there's ever really a big name heavyweight that's fighting another big name heavyweight in that weight class. They also usually make very, very big fights. It is not a big fight just because somebody is paying you a lot of money, okay? It's not a big fight just because the Boxing Writers Association of America says it's a big fight and and writes all kind of articles. People go on their speaking tours to all of the different media places, and they spend a ton of money on that. All that means is that it is a lot of money you spent and that you have big overhead. That does not make the fight big itself. What Turkey Al-Sheikh has done is played a mind game on people where he believes that the fact that he's paying the money makes it big. Because he's giving so much money, that means the fight must be big. No. I don't care if somebody spends $100 million on their kid's kindergarten party. Doesn't matter if you have Eminem playing and then you bring in Michael Jackson and then you bring in Whitney Houston, two of them from the grave. That doesn't make it a big party if all you have is you and your 15 kids listening to it. It means that you guys got to see some music personally that other people wouldn't get to see, but that doesn't make it a big concert. A big concert is when a bunch of people want to buy it, when a bunch of people want to see it. People don't want to see these fights, and you know they don't want to see them because in large part, they don't even know about it or have a mechanism by even which to buy it because they're over there on DAZN, a network that the vast majority of Americans don't even know of. But yet, because Turki Al-Sheikh spends money and you can put the number on there, oh, I'm paying $200 million. Oh, this is such a big fight. There's $200 million in salaries being paid. That must mean it's a big fight. Absolutely not. Does not make that a big fight. A big fight is when a bunch of people want to see it. When there's a bunch of fans calling for the fight. When fans are saying, we want to see Crawford Canelo. Nobody is saying that. What people are saying about Canelo is we want to see Canelo versus David Benavidez. They want to see Canelo, David Benavidez. That's the big fight, not Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, in a fight that I'm telling you, if you look at what happened on that fight card, the last fight card, where none of those guys came out and fought, Ryan didn't put out no effort, Devin didn't put out any effort, Tio didn't put out any effort. That's what you're going to be looking at. Because again, the fight is big because of the money being paid by Turkey, which is Turkey's attempt of making Turkey big. So as long as Turkey wants to fight and Turkey's willing to pay a bunch of money for the fight, that makes the fight big. No, it doesn't. It makes it a big in the mind of Turkey, and it makes it annoying to the mind of everybody else that knows boxing. Canelo Alvarez has not looked good in well over 2 years. He's not looked good in well over 2 years. He's definitely at the end of his rope. Also, nobody's been interested in Canelo Alvarez fights really for years because, like Rolly said, what has he really done? What fight is Canelo Alvarez giving you over the last several years that you would consider to be a big fight? Canelo Alvarez's stock has been dipping and dipping and dipping and dipping and dipping ever since he went on that Eurobum tour when he signed with Eddie Hearn originally. So I just have to take my hat off, to Rolly Romero and the way that he broke that down. I'm not saying that I don't want to see the fight. I'm just saying, man, understand what these guys are doing. They're playing matchmaking games. They're playing public relation games. They're going full board trying to convince you that you want things that you never asked for, that fights are great and huge just because they say it is, right? You never get something like Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia where nobody expected it to do that much and all of a sudden it doubles people's expectations. When have you ever seen a Turki Al-Sheikh card do that? When you've seen a Terence Crawford card do that? You never have. These people are just make-believing with Saudi Arabian money and trying to act like they're the kings of boxing because this guy's passing money around. But again, this too shall pass. Just like the thing with DAZN. DAZN stopped doing that. Turkey's going to stop doing it. And we have a certain amount of time left for Turkey to do it because we know that he's going over there to TKO. The only problem is what kind of shenanigans and nonsense is this man going to do when he goes over there to try to ruin our beloved sport and make it his own personal playground where he can hold hands and blow kisses at dudes. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.